I feel like
But
Wesley
it was just
Willis would
hilarious.
like. I feel like at some point or another he's gonna like thrive as part of meme culture.
Oh yeah, he absolutely. I think he is kind of a meme. He has become a meme at least, which is sad that he's no longer here to like kind of see how successful as a meme he became, and
Yeah,
kind of like how his music has kind of inspired other things. Because he did pass away in 2003.
yeah. I feel like
Um,
he would have liked like being part of meme stuff. I feel like he would have
I
liked
think
memes,
I
and
think
I
so.
could
Yeah.
see him making a bunch of memes, whether or
hmm
not they made any sense.
I feel like he would have been on like Tim and Eric. Like I feel like Tim and Eric would have
Oh
had him
yeah, I
on.
feel like Adult Swim would have kept him aboard for
Definitely.
sure. I could
Yeah.
see him like just going on the Eric Andre show when it was a thing.
Yeah.
Tim and Eric for sure.
hmm
I'm surprised that like Aqua Teen Hunger Force didn't try to do anything with him because he died in 2003.
Yeah. And Aqua Teen Hunger Force was, I think, it was out in 2001. I want to say was when
I
it
think
premiered.
so. I think so.
Um.
I
So
mean that
yeah,
would be that would be a nice episode to do too for another day,
yeah. Aqua Teen would definitely be a good
or
one for
Adult
the
Swim in
future.
general because like there's
Yeah.
just so many things.
Yeah.
Or like I could have seen him. I could have seen him on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but like
Yeah.
he wasn't on there. But I could see Adult Swim taking care of him somehow, or like doing
hmm
something with him.
Yeah.
Like I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if like Mastodon would use him in a video someday or something. Like they do a bunch of crazy stuff, so I could totally see them doing something with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a very interesting guy. He ended up passing due to a due to complications from chronic. Oh God, I don't know how to really pronounce this.
Myelogenous
Myelogenous.
myelogenous leukemia,
Mm, poor guy.
which it obviously is a form of leukemia.
Yeah,
Um,
not
yeah,
fun.
which no. It's sad because he did have a somewhat rough life, obviously,
Mm,
um, and died young. He was not old when he was 40, so that's it's sad. He did have and before he really kind of got to, like, he was starting to like gain popularity and more popularity, and kind of like was cut down before he really got to enjoy, I think, most his success.
yeah, because I mean, about a year after Super Size Me came out, and his song "Rock and Roll McDonald's," which was about this particular type of McDonald's in Chicago
Mhm,
that just got I don't it was just dubbed Rock and Roll McDonald's. I don't
mhm,
know why, but he wrote a song called Rock and Roll McDonald's, and it ended up going on the documentary soundtrack for Super Size Me, which
mhm.
would have been really great for him to see, but he unfortunately wasn't around for that because it came out in 2004.
Yeah.
But the guy had he just had a really rough childhood and everything. He was like when he was like very young was when he first started hearing like voices in his head.
Mhm,
He like grew up in Chicago's projects, and he was like one of 10 children, and his parents just they were just physically violent to each other, and it was just a broken home. He was in a bunch of foster homes. He had like two older brothers who cared for him. But I mean, you can only do however good you can do when you're that young of an age. And
mhm.
he apparently started hearing these voices when he was living when like he was living with his mom in the 80s. So he would be about,
In his teens,
yeah, somewhere in his teens. Like his
late
mom's,
teens,
yeah,
early
his mom
20s.
had like an abusive boyfriend. She just apparently she just kept having like bad luck with these guys that she was getting mixed up with.
Mhm,
Her boyfriend held a gun to his head and robbed him, and like just took the $100 and just robbed him. So like he just started hearing that, and you know he was like institutionalized for a little while too. Like the guy just had a rough neighborhood, and like just art was really what kind of saved this guy.
Yeah. And again, so many kids that live that kind of life, like growing up in poverty and with violent or abusive parents, end up into like a life of crime, or so they end up either dead or in jail. But it managed to kind of pull himself out of it and do his own thing and do art, even though despite his mental illness, and kind of like really, kind of like lived his own life the best he could with the situation that he had. So it's kind of like a bittersweet story, because we have his obviously his art is timeless and it lives forever, and he kind of lives on in his art, but at the same time he was he did not have that great of a life. At least his early childhood was not good.
Yeah,
and then died young. It's and not like so many other rock stars that friggin' OD on drugs or do something stupid and die. Or
the lifestyle wasn't anything that got the better of him. It was just his life.
Yeah,
it was just unfortunate circumstances that there wasn't much that we could really do about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wish that he was still around so that he could see what kind of an impact his legacy has, because it's not just it isn't just musical. It's also like it's also just other people who either came from like similar backgrounds or just saw what he did. They he kind of they kind of held on to him, like, because there's a lot of people, like, he's almost like a symbol of hope for some people in a weird way. Yeah. Like there was a character, like his artwork, which he used to sell to try to make a living. That ended up that ended up being part of an exhibit in Egypt in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
He was also part of like an exhibit at Dominican University, and it's just really, I wish that he got to see this stuff. And also there's like a character named Milan in Wonder Woman that, like, in 2013 it came out, and there was like, and Milan is he's a blind demigod with the power of, like, he's like a psychic, and he's like a half brother to Wonder Woman somehow, and his appearance and like his mannerisms, they are based on Wesley Willis, and like Wesley Willis has like a star on the outside. He has a star outside of like First Avenue, which is a nightclub in like Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Like just all this stuff he's referenced by, he's referenced in the song "Get Famous" by this band called the Mountain Goats. There's just a ton of stuff that I wish that he got to see.
Yeah. He has his legacy lives on. And I think he really kind of...
There we go. That's Milan.
Yeah.
He, like, spot on, looks just like him.
Yeah.
Except he's got, like, worms in his eyes, which is weird. But,
like,
yeah, he's... But it's just cool how, like, he transcended, everything, and he became this larger-than-life guy.
Yeah. And it really, I think, kind of is good for him in a way that, like, again, most people that are in his situation don't end up having a great life. They don't get any recognition, and kind of the way this country treats mental illness is pretty bad still. And, at least he kind of had, he has this legacy, and I think it's inspiring to people that are mentally ill that maybe want to, like, they could try doing art and using it as like an outlet to help them. And, music therapy is becoming more and more a thing. I think music is really an amazing healing thing for the mind.